All due respect on the title to Mr. Mobile, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Fisher, but it is true. This was when Google phones were fun. It's the Google Pixel XL, the original. Of course, Google had collaborated and done work on the Nexus devices, but this is the first one to carry the Pixel name with the Pixel XL. And just look at it, and it's such a stark contrast to what we get today with the Pixel devices. And I originally started thinking about it because I did a video a couple years ago talking about how this was still viable. I think I got mine for like $100, new in box, the XL, which is a fantastic deal. We'll talk about how it could still be used today, but there aren't really a lot of deals on it or stuff. It's kind of moved into that nostalgia category where the pricing has crept up because of the vintage of the device, but you still could absolutely use it. So a few days ago, I was talking about how I was complaining about the Pixel UI experience now with Material U on Android 12 and Android 13, and how we've gone almost, I would say, backwards with that, because you had this where it was nice and clean. This is Android. It, of course, is launched 2016 with Android 7, but now it can be upgraded all the way to Android 10. That's where it left off with this guy. But you could see the toggles, nice and clean. You could still have, you could see how you could add Material U to this device and this design without taking away the functionality of the Wi-Fi toggle. Just how clean the notifications are, a heck of a lot cleaner than what you get on the Pixel experience now with Material U. I never know where to look with the notifications. They all blend together for me. It's just one big blob of information on the screen. It's tough to clear them out. It's tough to get to the toggles that you want. I just don't like the aesthetic of it. That's a personal preference. I know some people do. I just prefer what they gave us back in the day on the Pixel XL with Android 10. Beautiful display. That's one of the other things. I feel like we've gone backwards a little bit with Pixel displays in recent years. 5.5-inch AMOLED 2K display. Absolutely gorgeous. It's the colors for me. It's poppier. Now, I understand maybe they wanted to go to something more true to life with the OLEDs now, because if you're doing professional work, if you're doing camera work, that might be something that has value to you. Me, I come from the line that loves the Samsung displays. The punchier, the better with the colors. And this certainly was a fantastic display that still holds up and I think compares well to the Pixel displays that we get now. Certainly color rich, good contrast, absolutely bright, fantastic AMOLED, just pops off the display. It's a fantastic experience. 4 gigs of RAM, which is still running quite well. It had the Snapdragon 821 running it, which is good. It holds up okay. Apps that are poorly optimized, that really don't run well on other phones, are not going to run well on here. I've had app crashes, but apps that are kind of on the fringe of being regular apps, the Instagrams, the Twitters of the world, all the rest of those are going to run just fine. So you have no issue with that. Pulls up Twitter, Instagram, you're not going to have any functionality problems. You're not going to be wondering what you're doing. So if you have one of these, let me know. AT&T, unfortunately, not something you could use it on anymore. You're looking T-Mobile and Verizon. For some reason, AT&T never acknowledged that this had voice over LTE, even though it does. So that's something to look out for if you're looking to pick one up, if you're looking to use one of those. But it's just the design that strikes it out for me. I know a lot of people love the rear-mounted fingerprint sensor. That's amazing. Camera will throw up a couple shots. Still really good. Still really good for a lot of budget phones today. It's going to beat many phones that you'll find in the $400 or $500 price range, and sometimes even more than that with the limited computational photography that they added to this later on. But the lens was good, and the camera overall was good. But it's just this design that really speaks to me. And that's the difference that you can tell in Google designs from 2016 to now. Here's the list of the names. This is the official names that we had for the colors that came out with the Google Pixel XL. It was quite black, very silver, and really blue. And that should tell you everything you need to know, because now all the colors are kindas and kind of pinks and kind of this and sort of sages. Let's get away from that terminology. Let's not do the sortas and the kindas anymore. Let's get back to the really, very, quite. Let's get back to that. Big, bold colors on these that are undeniably Google and undeniably Pixel. I think that's where they were really hitting their stride. And I would love to see that in the design language once again. They have to keep the same design. Just offer, instead of that hazelnut or whatever that hazel one that they came out with, that really just fell flat for me. When you see it in person, just didn't do it. Come out with something bold, something bright. Give us something to get excited about with the Google Pixel design. Battery, 3,450 milliamp hours, holds up okay. 3.5, 4 hours of screen on time. 821, not the most efficient one in the world, so you're going to be looking at that as far as screen on time now when you're talking about this device. Overall, this is the one that every time I look at and every time I use gets the nostalgia pixel-wise for me. I know everybody loves the Panda. I know everybody loves the Pixel 2 XL. I love the Pixel 2 XL as well. Revolutionized cameras on smartphones. Absolutely changed the game to where people were looking to enhance their cameras. Cameras were no longer an afterthought on these devices, flagship devices, after 2017, after the Pixel 2 XL. But that's also when the design started to get a little wishy-washy, and a little kind of, were a little bland. So this is where they were taking bold swings, and I love it. This is something that I've mentioned previously in videos. Oh, headphone jack for all your fans of the headphone jack. But along the edge is something that really catches me as well. I love the fact that the edge of the device is flat. So you can actually get in the pad of your finger, you can actually get a nice grip there. But just behind that is rounded. Not enough phones do that. I would love to see more phones. They often keep the sides of the device rounded to try to make it a nicer feel in the hand. This was a great feel in the hand. You had a great grip where you needed it, right on the pad of your fingers, but it cradled nicely because of that little curve that it had there. So that was something that I think that they should add to phones again. You can have the aluminum bands, you can have the glass backs and all the rest of it for wireless charging. That's fine. But give us to it where it's flat and then it kind of tapers over with the glass. I think that would be really great. Overall, just a fantastic experience to go back to. Love this device. Love using it. I don't mind the bezels. I almost don't see the bezels. You're not looking at the bezels. I love the fact that it gives me somewhere to grip the device when I'm looking at stuff full screen. I love the fact that it cuts off and it basically makes the content squared off that I'm looking at on phones like this when you have that, because otherwise you have the rounded edges and you're dealing with that. So I like that as well. But just something that I went back to, and when I started using the Pixel experience from back in the day on Android 10 and just saw the UI and the ease of use that we used to have on this device, it made me really wonder what the heck we were doing going to Material U, especially when you see what Samsung is doing with One UI 5.0 and how just absolutely gorgeous it is and how well it performs, and that it gives you all the stuff that you'd want with your notification shade and your toggles and all the rest of it, and it does it in a way that's nice, and it does it in a way that incorporates the system colors and your background, your wallpaper, the transparency and all the rest of it. That's stuff that Google absolutely could have done building off of something like this and giving us something that was a little bit more refined off of this design as opposed to just throwing it out completely and doing what they did with Material U. But that's, like I said, subjective, it's preference. A lot of people absolutely love Material U. So let me know if you made it this far. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.